Hello and welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. It is Hump Day, middle of the week Wednesday. Joe and Kim Palo with you as we are each and every Wednesday, whether we like it or not, whether you like it or not.
Well, mostly about you guys, and you're trying to be the boss of me this morning.
I am the boss.
I mean, you're trying to tell
the
me
king of the castle
to not have my book open. The book
exactly
is open,
right.
Open
I am
everywhere.
the king. I'm allowing you to have it open.
I can write in it
if I choose to let you.
Yeah,
I could take the pen and the
No,
and
this
and
is
the
my
paper.
Christmas, my very special, and Santa Claus will know if you're bad.
I don't even know if I believe in him anymore. But
well, you know, if it's not for Mrs. Claus, he's not getting nothing done.
Yeah, well, that's debatable.
No, it's not.
He has to tell her what to tell her to do.
Tracy, you know that. There's no way.
He has to
Santa
tell
is
Mrs.
doing
Claus, look,
anything.
don't forget to tell me to do this. That's what happens. That's how that works. It's kind of like what I do with you, although we're not making presents for people. It's the only difference.
No, we're not. Well, we could make a bird's nest. Can you believe that bird?
Yes. Now that is very bizarre.
We have on our front door. We have this, like it's a wreath, but it's a springtime with the springtime flowers. Well, this idiot of a bird kept trying to make a nest inside. I mean, we're opening and closing the door all the time. I don't understand.
They're not very smart, bird brains.
Right, right.
I told Kim that's where that phrase came from,
right.
Bird brains, so they don't think a lot.
We finally had to take the wreath off the door, and then where our columns are on the front porch, they start making nests up on the top. I have 3 chihuahuas that bark like crazy every time they go out. And this has been for what, 3 days, 4 days? We have not, and they're busy. If we could do half of what a bird does in one
an
day,
hour.
they have made like how many?
A lot.
Nests, like 4.
In fact,
completed ones.
We've even had help because we've been knocking the nest down, so before they get the babies in it. But we've even had help because there was a big nest that was inside a bush right next to the front porch. It's about as high as you can stand. So I go out the other night just to get a breath of fresh air. And I'm outside going, and I look over and I see these eyes looking right at me, and I look in the bush, and the lady next door's cat is hanging on one of the limbs with his paw in the nest like this, and it looked at me like, I'm just, and I went, hey, like that. He jumped down and took off. The nest was like this, but there was nothing in it.
But you should have left the cat alone.
Huh?
You should have.
He wasn't getting the ones up there. He
Well,
was just getting the one in there.
whatever. You should have let the cat.
But there was no birds or eggs in it, so I don't know if he got them, if they didn't have a
No, they
chance to
haven't
lay
laid
them.
them yet. It's
I know.
too early, I
Well, I'm
think.
saying they may have they were getting ready and he startled them, so now they're going to build the nest over here higher
whatever.
and put their eggs. But you don't put all your eggs in
one
nest.
basket, right?
Because of the cat. That's
because
why.
Of the cat and me with that broom. I'm up there and I'm yelling.
And how sad is that? I mean, they just want a house.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? They're trying to build a house so
out
this
of the
mother,
elements so they can lay eggs.
so she get under the porch
and the
and thinking, come on,
storms that are
lady,
gonna
we're trying to
come."
build a little nest this big. We're not going to make a scene. We'll fly away when the chihuahuas come out.
I know, but they're nasty, Joe. We let that one on the corner stay, and it's not pretty.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
birds,
they make bird nests with stuff.
I'll tell you. But the good thing is that I think they've gone somewhere else.
I think they have to.
Because you've done it enough now to where now there's like, I think I heard one go, apparently we're not welcome here. And then he flew.
I guess.
I don't know where he flew. Probably to Doyle and Luana's house
That's
next
right.
door.
Let's see if they can go over. They said, go over there.
All
Or to
right.
Bud and Susie across the street.
However.
Julie's got the cat. She's the smart one. We'll get a cat.
No, we won't. We'll just use Julie's. I will not scare it next time. I'll
don't
just
yell
go,
at it.
everything's
All right.
cool.
All
Just
right.
stay in the bush. You know what they say?
No, not again.
All right.
Thank you. We'll be here all day if he starts to push Chase. All right, we have Tracy Shellhouse.
We have finally.
I know, last week.
You've
She
got her.
just
No,
slept
no,
right
no.
through it.
Tracy has been so kind as to come, and she comes every week. She comes here,
Every
and so
month.
many times, every month. And so many times, Kim has overbooked. And who gets shafted? Who has to leave? Who does leave? Tracy.
It's so nice about it.
Yes, very kind. That's why.
I know. I know.
One day, though, she was in the hallway, and I had to back her down a little bit. She was about ready. She was wanting to get at Kim. I said, Tracy, come on. And so she did. She left. She
Said
was looking
something
back.
about me being bird-brained or
She
something.
looked back, and she did one of those things like they do in the movies, and they go, and then she left. But now she's here today.
She is here today, and I'm always excited.
Yes, she's a wealth of information and has always some great things to talk about, and I'm sure another good fundraiser they'll have coming up for the spring.
No, they've already had it.
They'll have another. You don't think they're going to have another one, Kim? You think they just have one?
One they had.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, speaking of fundraising, we have Johnny McDaniel. I don't know why. Fun.
Schools always need funds.
Fundraising.
They need
F-U-N
funds.
raising. He raises fun. Like raise the
Oh,
roof.
fun. Woo-hoo.
Fundraising. Johnny McDaniels, which is the superintendent of the Bradley County Schools,
Yes.
will be with us here today to talk to us about things with school.
Things, smart things, education things.
Educational things. And you'll probably have to leave the set at
I
that point.
probably will if he asks me to do any type of math with letters.
No, he won't ask about math, but just the conversation itself may be way over your head.
Could be.
So we'll just have to.
All right.
That's all right.
I've got several pairs of shoes that have a really
And
high
they're all
heel back
behind.
there.
They're all
I
behind
know.
the couch.
Couldn't
Couch
decide,
back.
but there's one that'll go.
And we want to mention this. You will see the ad during the show today, but make your way out this week to the Ashley Lauren Closet, which is at the Keith Street Church of God of Prophecy.
Right. If you have children, if you don't.
I tell you
I'm
what,
not
though,
going.
great deals.
But yes, if
Great
you have got children,
deals.
little ones, I mean, I would spend every day. I mean, you would be broke if I had children. I mean, you're broke anyway.
I am broke.
It's because I don't have children.
I'm broken.
He's broken.
Been married for 35 years. I'm
He's
broken.
trying. That's right.
Yeah, snapped in half. I'm not like broke, just broken. But the Ashley Lauren Closet, which is at Keith Street Church of God of Prophecy, and it's every single day.
From 9 to 7.
9 to 7, you're right. And so make your way out
Did
there.
you hear that?
Not very often do I say
I
that.
heard it.
But
All right, Ron Moore's going to be here too. So
Ron
let's go
is
to
in the
commercial.
house as well?
I know.
Okay.
I mean,
got three. We better hurry.
I know. You need to hush.
All right, so we're going to take a commercial break. Back with more Tennessee Valley this morning. After this, stay tuned.
Town Americana,
Come on.
where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you looking for a way to save 50 to 90% off your children's spring or summer wardrobe? Well, this is the week. Check out the Ashley Lauren Consignment event this week only, located at 4000 Keith Street next door to Chick-fil-A and Logan's. Ashley Lauren's Closet is the largest and premier children's consignment event. You don't want to miss it. 4000 Keith Street right here in Cleveland.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Again, Joe and Kim Palo with you, with Johnny McDaniel, who we can honestly say is our friend and our Bradley County School Superintendent.
Yes, and we go back way back. I mean, God bless him. He doesn't want anybody to know him, but
No,
we tell
he
it every single time. We know him when we were just mere children.
And see, the thing is, he's also related to Doyle and Luana, who live next door to us, who also don't want anybody to know that we know them. And so it's kind of funny, but we always kind of name drop all the time.
That's right. We don't care.
Not the boss of us.
That's right.
But so of course, as we just said, Johnny is the superintendent of Bradley County Schools and in charge of the entire Bradley County school system.
And he has brought them to a level of excellence that has not been seen before.
That's right.
In these parts.
Well, we're working hard in Bradley County Schools. Our folks can really be proud of the good work our teachers and students are doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're just really excited about some of the developments that we've had this past year. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was our leadership program in the elementary schools.
Okay.
Business and industry are telling us there's some soft skills that students are graduating from high school and they're not as strong with the personal skills. Okay. And Sheena Newman had visited several other schools around. She was always interested in leadership development, and we looked at several programs across the U.S. and we found one we liked, but it was just very expensive. It was over $50,000 a school to implement. So I said, Sheena, you're just going to have to write the program. And she has, and she has written 2 books that go with it. They align with our Accelerator Reader program where students can earn points for the books.
Right.
But we do character development, character education through our leadership program. Right. And one of the things that we did this year was have student-led conferences in several of our elementary schools. And at one school where they're used to having 50 to 100 parents, this year at the student-led conference, they had over 400 parents attend.
That's amazing.
So
I mean, 400 parents anywhere to get involved. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. It just does not happen, and so that's amazing.
So when your child wants to talk to you about their progress and explain and show you that they understand the progress they're making and the deficits and how they're going to overcome those deficits, it's a real live learning laboratory. Sure. And it's just a great opportunity for the student and for the parents and everyone involved. So we're really proud of our leadership program. Folks might have seen it, particularly if they're involved, have children or grandchildren. They'll see the pictures up around the school and some of the program. You'll see it up around the school and in some of the classrooms, on the picture hangers on the walls and the hallways and that kind of thing.
And you know, I mean, through the years, obviously, curriculum has changed as society changes, but school basically is still just school. And when kids go to school, you have the kids that really enjoy going and some that, I don't really like to be sick today. But if there's something that's interesting for them, that grabs them, that makes them feel like the Accelerator Reader thing, I know a lot of kids get excited about that.
I did.
Because it puts you...
I love that program.
It's like a boasting thing, especially if you're like a 3rd grader and you're reading like on a 5th grade level.
That's
and you
right.
can tell people, your parents usually do, he's reading on a 5th grade level. Because,
did your parents ever get to do that?
Of course. But that was when I was in 8th grade. He's reading on a 5th grade level. It's a different story, but kind of similar as well. But I mean, if there's something that excites them to come like that, it really does make them not want to be sick, even if they are sick.
What we say is that school is about academics, no doubt about it, but we also want to build memories around academics and fun. I think that when children leave school, one of the things we want to make sure we do is give them fun memories, good memories of school.
So you are a fundraiser. Joe
I
called
told
it
you.
I like that. I like to raise the roof with fun, and we do that. You'll see that in our elementary schools, where they celebrate reading, celebrate success, and I think that's very important, Joe. And you mentioned finding ways for students to fit in. At the high school level, we have moved, and we're moving this next school year to an academy model, to where students will pick a high school major or a focus. We're calling them academies, to where they will pick an area of study. And a lot of it aligns with either our Cambridge, our AP program, or one of the CTE programs, or fine arts like band. So students have a focus while they're there, and there will be a cadre of teachers that work with them who focus on those students, that particular group of students, where they know they have caring people in the building.
Right.
One of the things that we've learned in looking at why students drop out of high school, if they don't feel connected, if they don't feel a part, if they don't feel like someone cares about them, they're
Right.
more apt to drop out of school. So if you want to make
Absolutely.
strong high schools, the academy model is a good move to help students be attached and to fit in. I'll brag a little bit.
Sure.
Our work in high school over the past several years has been really great. And last year we had a 93.9% system-wide graduation rate,
Wow.
which is really phenomenal. And we're something we've really been focused on, something we're working hard towards. So.
Well, and Johnny is the superintendent of the year.
Right.
Well, and in part, I'm the superintendent of the year for Tennessee because of the good work we've
Right.
done at our
I
high
mean,
school level with our ninth grade program.
Locally.
The entire
Statewide.
state.
Well, thank you.
Well, you know,
Thank you.
and you know what else I think? I don't know if it's come around again, but the CTE program obviously is a great program because it is real life as
Yes.
far as the jobs and the skills that you get through that. But school too, do you see a lot of students, a lot of kids, years ago they did, and then I think they fell away, maybe they're coming back to it, but are leaving schools going, you know what, I want to be a teacher when I graduate. I want to go to college and become an educator instead of saying, you know, which is a great thing, don't get me wrong, but when I get out of this schooling, I'm going to help my dad on the farm. I'm going to help my dad, you know, with his carpentry business, which is a wonderful thing, and that's why the CTE program is wonderful. But how many students, or is it coming back around again, where they're leaving wanting to become teachers and educators?
Well, I think what you're seeing is that through the career technical program, they understand that it takes more than just a high school diploma to get a job, to take the next step. We have 18 career and technical programs in Bradley County Schools. 13 of them have a professional certification that go along with the program. So if a student completed all 4 classes, they would leave with a Microsoft endorsement.
Wow.
They would leave with a ProStart culinary endorsement. They could leave with toward an ACE motor mechanic endorsement, professional endorsements. Our welding program at Bradley are the courses for Cleveland State, so they're earning college credit while they're in
Wow,
school.
while they're in high
And we
school.
have a lot of those dual credit kind of opportunities for students. But Joe, I think to answer your question, I think our students today understand that it takes a minimum of a high school diploma, but they understand it takes a little more. And
Yes.
we're a high school diploma and something else.
Yes.
And we're really emphasizing that. I think our academy transition will help students prepare.
Sure.
Wacker and Volkswagen, a lot of the industries moving to this part of Tennessee are asking us for more highly qualified employees beyond high school.
Sure.
So we're working on that and helping students understand that they can go ahead and start preparing for those careers while they're in high school. The Wacker Academy opened up to both Bradley and Walker Valley High School. So if you're in Bradley County Schools at either high school, you could be part of the Wacker Academy and really be ready for a job when they open the plant in a couple of years. You'd be ready to take a job
Right,
there
and their
with them.
requirements are way up
It's
there. Their
chemical
standards-
engineering.
Yes,
It's a
I mean,
2-year chemical engineering degree.
Well,
But
even Volkswagen, just from what I understand, just working on the assembly line to be able to read the manuals, you got to have a 2-year degree.
that's what they asked for.
Right.
Yes, it is. And if you've ever been down there, which I've had the opportunity to go, it isn't what I expected. You know, it's not an assembly line like you and I might have been trained for,
Right.
turning bolts with wrenches.
Right.
It's really running robots. Robots build the cars, and the people make sure the assembly line is running effectively and that everything's in place, monitoring computers, monitoring the robotic assembly of the car. It's
Wow.
much different today than it used to be.
It is, and now, you know, and so much now, you see so many foodies out there. Everything's about food. I mean, I'm one of those. You know, Joe is happy, you know, open a can and he's good, and I'm just like that. And Bradley has a wonderful culinary program. I think you said they've been like leading.
Well, they have.
the
At
whole
Bradley
time.
Central High School, the culinary program there has been recognized as one of the top 100 culinary programs in the U.S.
In the whole U.S., we're not
And-
talking the state anymore.
And we were talking earlier, you know, I have a lot of professional functions that they cater for.
Right.
I've had the Southeast superintendents come there, our local and area legislators come to Bradley where we hosted them there, and the students prepare the food and serve. And it's outstanding. It's an outstanding opportunity for them to get a real life experience. But Kim, you're right. I think it's some of the best food you can find in Bradley County.
There you go.
On Thursdays, they have the Bear Bistro. It's open to the community, and My wife and I, we meet there every chance we get, but it's a great job by our students, and it's an opportunity for them, a way for them to shine. Students that love that. I like to tell the story of my son Josh. When he was there, he wanted to take culinary, so he was in calculus and culinary.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and I think that having those life experiences are very important for children, so I encourage that.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Josh can do the math with the letters. With no
Yes, he
problem.
can.
He just sailed right through
Well,
that and went on to the
He
calculus.
takes after his mom, I'm sure. And he's a good cook.
There you go.
He's going to make someone a great husband one of these
He
days.
is.
Well,
I mean,
and you know what? Well, I can cook too, Kim. Please. But
Joe,
what I
I
think
don't
is,
know about that.
I know.
I make meatballs. I make meatballs.
Not from the beginning.
What do you mean from the beginning? How you know, I get the meat and I put it all together. All right. So, but this is the thing too. Now, you know, we talk about the students in the CTE program. I go back to that because that's the culinary, that's the media part that we deal with when I deal with the folks at the high schools, which is a far cry from back when we were in school and the only CTE program was shop.
Well, we
Yeah.
call it
Just called-
vocational
right, it was
back then.
Vocational. It was like,
vocational,
I'm
and
in
there
shop.
was a little bit more than shop.
Yeah.
Shop. There was a couple of things that were, but now
Nothing like it is today.
Right now, because so many people, there are those service areas that people are very interested in. They can come right in out of high school, but yet at the same time, I think your numbers are really, really good for those people that are college bound
Absolutely.
and that are they're they're ready to go when they come out of our county system.
And when it's also the instructors that you have teaching this. We know Paul Shull. Paul Shull is an excellent woodworking person.
Yes,
to
he
have
is.
him to teach young students how to do that from the ground, from the start to finish.
Yep.
You couldn't have a better instructor than that. Same thing as we talk about media departments with Mr. Schroyer or Scott Webb. And so all the other, and I don't want to leave anybody out, the nursing, I'm sure, and the Richmond.
The HOSA
culinary.
program, that health occupation,
Absolutely.
at both of the high schools, students become CNA certified before they graduate. So there are a lot of opportunities, and it isn't just a vocational track
Right.
anymore. It really is a college preparation track. You just have a focus.
Right.
What I like to say is that we apply the high academics in a real life setting. That's what career technical
Absolutely.
education is about. It's not about this group's going to college and this group is
Right.
not. They're
It's just
all
the
really,
path
it is. They're
and
all
what you're ready
getting
for.
opportunity to go for advanced training, whatever that may be. That's the goal.
And when they're in the school and they're in high school and they take the class, like maybe culinary, maybe they're taking that and they think, you know what, this isn't really what I thought. I think I'd rather do this. They have a chance to change that and go in another direction before it does get too late, and they just can set their focus. And I know I talked with some of the folks with the CTE about this. I said, how many students do you have coming through here that as freshmen already know what they're going to do, and when I get out, this is what I'm going to do? She says there are a few that really have that focus and know exactly this is what my plan is, and when I get out, this is what I'm going to do. And then there's others that have no idea, that you kind of mentor and help to decide what direction they want to go in.
Well, sure, and that's part of growing up. That's part of learning. It's part of being a high school student, I think, is having different opportunities. Josh took construction. He took the cooking, the culinary program, and he decided in college he would be a nutrition major.
Right.
So, I think that those opportunities to be exposed to different kinds of careers, I think that's so important. And I think today we do a lot better job of that. We started talking about it in elementary. It's part of our leadership program. We talk about it at middle school. We do career interest inventories, and they begin understanding what it would take for certain career paths. And then as they come into high school in the 9th grade program, we try to help them find a place within the high school to fit in and to pursue their interests. So I think we're dead on with that.
Right, and you guys, like you said, you had a 90, what'd you say was your?
93.9 last year.
93.9.
I would
That
just say
is
94,
amazing.
Johnny. I would just say 94%.
Well,
I mean, 94% is pretty good.
Then he would be lying.
Well, that's that extra little point. But the point of that is, no pun intended, is that students are graduating at a higher rate, and there was a time when that was a problem.
When we really first started calculating graduation rate in this country, it was about 50%. That 93.9 is when students started 4 years ago at 9th grade, did they graduate in the 12th grade?
Right.
Okay, that number is a solid number today of 4 years graduating high school.
Wow.
So when you think about it like that, that really is a phenomenal graduation rate.
It really is. I mean, because you don't see any numbers that that support that, and so you should be very, very
Now,
proud.
I know you've compared notes with other superintendents in the state. Do they have?
Well, we'll just say it like this,
Right.
Joe. We're one of the top in the state right now.
Okay.
Just sit over there and not.
I'm
talk
asking a
about
question
somebody
about other superintendents that they all talk. It's
No,
a little club
no,
they
just
have.
Well,
here.
actually, anyone could go on and look at any school system's report card, and you can see the graduation rate. And that's what folks should
I
do,
don't think
really,
there's much,
to find
but
out
yeah.
how their system is
There's
doing.
not much higher than 93.9, and if there is, there's probably not many.
Well, you know, once in a while, like an Oak Ridge might have one year they had a 96%, and then the next year they dropped, you know, and they were on the list for not improving because they were at 96 and dropped down to 94.
Oh.
Sometimes when you see the reports that come out about education, unless you really study them and try to understand what's going on, some reports are a little misleading. But I think any of us would agree anything above a 90 is a good report for a school system.
And in Oak Ridge, Johnny, there's all that nuclear stuff there. The
Well-
books are bigger, the kids are bigger, pencils are
I
bigger.
think there are more PhDs there per capita than any place in the nation. So
See, there
yes.
you go. But you know, Johnny, you have done a great job.
Yes,
Our
absolutely.
school system, our county school system, is something to be proud of. I mean, I had 2 boys to come through it, and you had your boys to come through it as well. And it's an excellent system, and I know that you're very proud of what your teachers and administrators are doing across the board. Sheena doing great work writing your own, programs for it.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful, and thank you. I mean, when I asked Johnny to come, he just comes, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well,
and we
it's my
always love to
pleasure.
hear it, and we're proud. We're very proud. We're
Absolutely.
proud to know him, but we're very proud of our system.
And I have known you for a long time,
Uh-huh.
and I do think the world of the memory of your father, and
Oh,
he
I
was a
know.
big impact on my life. Great
Mine too.
speaker and great man, loved him. You knew he cared about you
Right.
as a minister and a leader, and our world needs more people like that.
I know.
I
We
aspire
miss
to
him.
that.
He
I tell
mentored
everybody-
a lot of young men to,
Yes.
he helped a lot. He couldn't ever do anything with me. So
He tried, Joe.
He tried. He
tried.
pushed it on other young men, and they worked. It was just different with me. But we do thank everything that you've done for obviously the county and the fact that you're our friend and you do come on every time. And you've got some wonderful things to talk about. So
Thank you.
great
Thank you
things going
for
on.
inviting me.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. This was Superintendent of the Year of the state of Tennessee, and
That's right.
we're proud to have
That's
had him.
right.
So-
Johnny McDaniel.
That's right.
All right, now we do have Ron. I saw Ron stick his
I
head
saw
in
him
here.
too, but
So we've got
Tracy's
Ron
coming
Moore,
first.
and I was getting ready to say we got Tracy Shellhouse who'll be on the way next. When we return after these messages, stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you looking for a way to save 50 to 90% off your children's spring or summer wardrobe? Well, this is the week. Check out the Ashley Lauren Consignment Event this week only, located at 4000 Keith Street next door to Chick-fil-A and Logan's. Ashley Lauren's Closet is the largest and premier children's consignment event. You don't want to miss it. 4000 Keith Street right here in Cleveland.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning. It is Wednesday, and we are sure glad that you've joined us. We are now joined by Tracy Shellhouse of the New Hope Pregnancy Center. Thank you so much, Tracy.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I know. We're always so glad to see her.
I
She
know,
always
Kim.
makes me feel good.
And then when Kim doesn't mess
Or cry.
up, that's what's always better. But tell us, so the fundraiser we just had, how'd we do?
Oh my goodness. Our goal for the evening was $55,000, and to date we have between what's in hand and what's pledged over $75,000.
Wow.
So it was a phenomenal evening.
No kidding.
I cannot tell you how many people have come to me and said, "Oh, my pastor was at your banquet, and Sunday morning he was telling our congregation we need to be there next year." It was absolutely great.
Oh,
Terrific,
see, and we
terrific.
missed it, Joe.
It was
We
so
missed
fun.
It,
It was so fun.
bad. That is wonderful. So you had a wonderful evening and
Yes.
raised lots of money.
Yes.
And that's so. Are you glad you went back to that type of a fundraiser?
Yes, I am. I think the speaker has a lot
Right,
to do
that's
with
right.
it. We
You
brought
said
in
that,
Mike
right.
Williams, and I've done banquets now since, 2004. And I've had people go, "Oh, your speaker was great. It was so wonderful. It was informative. I had such a good time." This was the first time I had people leaving, and as I was shaking hands, they said, "You are going to have him back, aren't
Having
you?"
back, right?
That's the first time I've ever had that happen, and we are. And so we're really looking forward to him being able to be with us again in the future.
Terrific,
Yes, Joe, you're not
terrific.
going to get that gig now.
Huh? No, what she doesn't know is I'm partnering with Mike.
Okay.
It's going to be a team. We got both of us, like Abbott and Costello. But yeah, so now, so I'm not so wrong, and Kim wanted to correct me. You do have another fundraiser on the horizon, do you not?
We do. We're always working on
Sure.
a fundraiser. We actually are working on them before we get one done. We have the baby bottle boomerang coming up that we will run through late June, early July.
Okay.
And that is where we contact our churches and we ask them if they will take baby bottles, distribute them to their congregation. The congregation takes it home, fills it up with cash, checks, and change, brings it back. And it's a great fundraiser because babies, toddlers, all the way through those that are even homebound can participate in this event. And I think, too, for a lot of people, it helps them to remember at the core one of the things that we're doing, which is saving lives. And, most people love babies. They
Well,
really do.
yes.
And they're just, taking the bottles home. I think it sort of brings it all back full circle.
Yeah.
Now, does the church supply the bottles, and they're the ones that decide to get involved? Because I've not
Right.
seen that program in my local church, and so is it something that? And I'm not going to say which one that is, but is that something that some churches really embrace, and that they really, go and do they buy the bottles, or do you supply them,
Well,
or how
we
does it
supply
work?
the bottles,
Okay.
but we do have churches that on a yearly basis do this, and they
Okay.
actually look forward to it and will even call us and say, "Okay, it's time for us to get our baby
Oh
bottles."
wow! See, that's great.
So they're excited about it. We have a lot of churches that will use it during vacation Bible school time. You know how the boys and the girls always would go against each other, the different classes to, bring in the most change or
Right.
whatever. We've had quite a few. As a matter of fact, last year, Gamble Road Baptist Church, that's what they did, is they had me come in and speak, and it's always interesting when you speak to young children. So I had to change my message a little bit, and then I went and I did a sexual purity talk with a youth group. Great evening, but out of their vacation Bible school, they raised over $800
Wow.
toward New Hope. And so there's all different kinds of ways to participate. But what we do is we will provide the bottles, and in the past, the churches have been asked to count it all out. They don't have to do it anymore. They can bring those bottles back filled. We have been so blessed that Mike Griffin with First Tennessee allows us to use his change machine for nothing. We don't have to pay
you
the
don't have to
fee.
pay the little
we
fee
go
that you
in
would, right.
and we do it, and they have so blessed us being a partner with our ministry that it has made things a lot more, streamlined things, made it a lot easier. Depending on the size of the church, if you get back 1,000 bottles in change and you're supposed to count all that, get it rolled, deposited, and send a check, I'm going to be honest. If I was a church secretary, I would probably never pass that message on to a pastor.
No, I wouldn't
even
either. I would be
mention
like, I don't know. We haven't heard from New Hope this
No.
year.
Yeah, and so we've tried to make it a lot more simple and fun. That's what we want. Is we want it to actually be something that they look forward every year to, that they're excited about doing it.
Right.
And then of course we'll have our walk coming up in October. And like I said, we never stop.
We never stop. You're always
I call it
raising
the
that money.
fundraising treadmill. You don't ever get to
You don't
stop.
ever get off of it.
Well,
you just have to. But
right.
that's how you depend on your budget. That's how you budget.
Yes.
And the more money that you fundraise, in a
Yes.
sense, the better quality of services that you can provide.
The more programs.
Right.
And that's actually something we announced at our banquet. We're going to add a new program.
Okay.
And it's one that people have been waiting on for a long time. We are going to convert to a medical clinic.
Ah.
Yes.
So you can do prenatal and
What we will do is it'll be limited, a limited medical clinic. We will offer a nurse-tested pregnancy test, but we'll be able to offer ultrasounds.
oh.
80 to 95% of abortion-minded women who see their baby on that ultrasound screen are going to change their mind. And this will be the third center that I've been with through a conversion process. The first one was in Birmingham, and we immediately saw our client visits go up, our client numbers go up. The health department started referring to us because we could provide something that no one else could provide for free. And then we also saw our change mind rate go up. We had a pretty good change mind rate prior to that. It ran about 65 to 75% depending on what year. But after that, we started running at 95%.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. And so it better helps us to meet the needs in our community. And it also gives us something more viable of a program to draw our community to us, because we know that there are people here that need us, but they're not aware of us, or maybe they don't understand what all we offer, and so they don't see the benefit of coming to New Hope. But if we can provide medical services and help get them set in the right direction.
Yeah. You got people coming
Yes.
in then. Well, Tracy, just run down
Yes, I
a
was
little
gonna say.
bit of the programs that you do have. We've
Okay.
talked about them every time just about, but there may be somebody that's not aware
Yes.
of all that they offer. And this is the greatest place in the whole world if you're in a crisis, that these people love you unconditionally and they're not going to judge you. But just anyway, run down a few
Well,
of
we
your
have our
programs.
pregnancy test program, and that's what draws a lot of first-time clients in. And everything we do is free and confidential, and they are able to come in, have a pregnancy test done. We do options counseling, so we discuss with them their options, especially if they're facing a crisis pregnancy. We are a pro-life organization, but we do education about abortion because we really do believe that the best thing we can do for our clients is to help them be informed and educated so that they can make a well-informed decision. We also offer the Earn While You Learn program.
Right.
And the Earn While You Learn program is where once we have encouraged someone to choose life and that person makes that decision, it would be a bit unfair for us to say, well, good luck with that.
Right.
Call us when the baby's born and let us know what its name
Right.
is. So instead what we do is we step up alongside them and we have a mentoring process that is also an incentive program. So not only do they receive education as far as prenatal, postnatal, budgeting, cooking, all these different things, they get baby bucks every time they come in and do this. And then they can take that to our Hope Chest, which is our ministry closet, and they can get things like new baby beds and car seats, diapers, wipes, cloth diapers. We have these amazing cloth diapers, all kinds of things. And we also have the Hope Group, which stands for Healing of Post-Abortion Emotions. We actually have Hope Groups going on right now, and it's for women who are post-abortive that are seeking healing and someone to confide in so that they can go through that process and feel fully reconciled and understand the grace and the mercy that is theirs to be had because Jesus loves them.
Right.
And then we have another program that hopefully will begin, aside from the medical clinic, sometime this summer. And it is a sub portion of our Earn While You Learn program, but it's called the Fatherhood Initiative. And we have someone who has stepped up to bat that had felt for a long time on his heart that we really needed to offer something to men and did not know that we were trying to get something going.
Right.
So after the banquet, he was talking with one of his deacons the next day, and this person said, I think what they do is great, but I'd like to be able to do more for men. And they came back, and I'm like, you don't understand. We've been trying to get something started.
Yes.
And we were blessed by the Rotary Club. We received a grant to be able to buy curriculum and to facilitate that program. So the funds are there, and we're ready. And now we have facilitators. We're going to pick out our curriculum, and hopefully, come June or July, be up and going and be able to offer classes just for men, taught by men, to mentor them to help them be great dads.
Yeah, I think that is so important. I mean, because it's always, and Joe would always tell me, "You're maternal, I'm just paternal," and I was like, no, you weren't paternal.
Well, yeah, but there is a difference in the maternal instinct and a paternal instinct.
But there is that responsibility and that just fear and just not knowing. I mean, that's, and especially when you're in crisis situation. We've talked about that every time, that you don't make good decisions in crisis situations. And then, a lot of times it's the girl and the girl's family and everybody's in a tizzy and the guy's just standing around waiting for somebody to tell him what to do.
Bless his heart, often he is doing what he's been told to do.
Right.
Especially younger guys. And aside from that, in this nation, men of unborn babies that are not born yet have no rights. And so if the mother of his child chooses to terminate that pregnancy, he can't do anything about it. And, it's one of those, it's sort of a paradox that along with rights come responsibilities. But if we spend 40 years telling men that you have no right, then we shouldn't be too surprised when some of them are not fulfilling their responsibilities. Sure. And I think the maternal and paternal, it is definitely, you see what dads tend to do and what mothers tend to do, but a lot of times what dads are, they're providing. They're providing and they're protecting. That's what dads do. And so often the way men do that is by working really, really hard, providing for their children. But I can't tell you how many stories I hear about people that say, I know my dad loved me because he worked so hard to provide for me, but we really didn't talk growing up, or we really didn't do this. And then moms tend to be the one that nurture so much. And there's a downside to that because my husband needs to be very involved in the rearing too. And what this program is hopefully going to do, it's going to show them how they can connect while they're providing and protecting.
Sure.
It can go hand in hand. It's just that our society doesn't teach those skills. You don't learn that in college.
Absolutely.
You don't learn that in high school. That's something that you learn from other people who are parents. And the thing is we're not saying that we're all great parents and that we've parented well, but we are working toward that. And I've laughed and told, my husband has said, we love our oldest daughter. She'll be 17 in July. And she's beautiful, but as a parent, you look back in retrospect and you realize how many things you just messed up. And Gene, one day, he said, that first child should be disposable because you make so many mistakes. And by the time you get to number 2, 3, and 4, for us, you can see with each child they're better balanced. And the thing is, though, is thankfully God is good, and children are very resilient.
Yes, they are.
And they recover from the bruises that their parents often inflict on them.
We didn't mean to inflict on them.
Yes.
And that's what I would tell them. I do tell my eldest one, I had a 50-50 chance at every decision I was making. There was, but anyway, tell us how to get in touch with you. We just got a couple of seconds left.
All right.
So.
Well, you can call our office at 479-5825, and our website is New Hope PCC, as in Pregnancy Care Center.org. And you can find out more about our programs. If you'd like to partner with us financially, there's a partnering with us tab on there, and you can also find the email to get in touch with me if you have any questions.
All right.
Beautiful.
There it is.
Beautiful.
And if all else fails, just Google it. It'll come out and you can pick the right one. Yeah. That's what always happens to me because I'm like, what did she say that address was? So anyway, you can Google it. But thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
It's
thank you for having
always
me.
a pleasure, and thank you for coming to save me once again. After
I stood you up last week.
She stood me up, but I messed up her poor schedule. So
more than we care to remember.
Yes, more than I care to admit to, but I will. Guilty, but thank you. And
You're
we will
welcome.
see you next month.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy Shellhouse of the New Hope Pregnancy Care Center, located here in Cleveland. We're going to be back with Ron Moore, our local Bradley County historian, when we return from these messages. Stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you looking for a way to save 50 to 90% off your children's spring or summer wardrobe? Well, this is the week. Check out the Ashley Lauren Consignment Event this week only, located at 4000 Keith Street next door to Chick-fil-A and Logan's. Ashley Lauren's Closet is the largest and premier children's consignment event. You don't want to miss it. 4000 Keith Street right here in Cleveland.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back, Tennessee Valley This Morning. WTMB, Joe and Kim Palo, again now, joined by our another good friend, Ron Moore.
I don't know that he wants, I don't know that,
Well,
do you like my bright spring colors?
I do like that.
If I was sitting next to the flower, I would have just blended in.
Yes, you would have.
You are kind of bright in it, and that. You know what? And that is a very nice. That's one of those good fishing shirts.
That's right.
And those are good shirts. I've got one.
I don't fish. I just like the look of them.
That's right. But Joe doesn't either. He talks about it, but his rod will get wet.
Yeah, I know. But I like those shirts too. But yeah, Ron is here to always enlighten us about some history. Maybe something you knew, maybe something you didn't know. And today's topic is
Colonel Benjamin Cleveland.
Mr. Cleveland.
Mr. Cleveland.
Colonel Cleveland.
Right. Colonel Cleveland, who is the city of Cleveland's named after Colonel Benjamin Cleveland. He did not live here.
Okay.
He's not from here. He's from Virginia, and then he lived in North Carolina, and then he was in South Carolina, but he's never lived here. But he was honored because of his service at Kings Mountain. The state legislature honored him to be the city of Cleveland, or city at that time to be named Cleveland back years and years ago. There's two other locations in America that are named after him also. Cleveland County in North Carolina, or in South Carolina, excuse me, and then Cleveland, Georgia, are all named after Benjamin Cleveland.
No kidding. So we knew there were Clevelands. There's that little place in Ohio, but
Well, that's a different Cleveland. That may be a different one.
Yeah, there's Clevelands in every state, it seems like.
I know.
These three are
named after the same place. Huh?
He basically was a colonel in the Revolutionary War when we went to Kings Mountain. The Revolutionary War, I think, is interesting. The state is that, of course, that happened before Tennessee was a state.
Right.
All this was still the Cherokee Nation. And so a lot of the battles in the Revolutionary War that took care in the South were still fought in Indian territories, and the Indians actually fought with the British, the Cherokee Indians and everything. And it was the first Civil War we had. Everybody talks about what we call the Civil War, but the Revolutionary War was the first Civil War we actually had, because half the people were patriots or for America, or in their freedom from the church and the King of England. The Church of England and the King of England ran roughshod over all the religion and money and all that, and so that's why they came here. But there was also loyalists here when they became known as Tories. I don't know where that word actually comes from, but they were called the Tories and the Patriots. And so we actually had some battles down here, and the battle at Kings Mountain, which got Ferguson from the British Army, was defeated there. There was about 1,000 men on each side. Went up and fought that battle, and that's right up here at the edge of South Carolina and North Carolina. York County, I believe, is now where Kings Mountain is. But Cleveland is an interesting character. There is no pictures of him. He sort of died before there was cameras.
Oh,
This is this is 1700s.
Okay.
So he'd been a state legislator in North Carolina. He'd been a representative and a state senator, and then he got appointed by the North Carolina to become a colonel in the North Carolina militia, and so he was a big man. And when I said big man, and they started looking at me, and I'm going, okay, what do you mean? But apparently he was 6'4", and his size ranges anywhere in the history books from 250 pounds, which they thought was big, to 360 pounds.
Wow.
And realistically, most people think that he may have been quite large. Maybe the 360.
Right, because the 200, whatever, 260 is not bad for 6'4".
Oh, no, it's not bad.
No, well, it's not.
No, I don't think so either. I really don't.
I mean, if you're really 6'4".
Right, well, if you're 6'3", it's 260 today.
Yeah, well, I went to the doctor, and those charts, I'm just too short for my weight.
Right.
I was supposed to be 7'3" for this weight.
Well, see, same with me. My license says I'm 6'3". Kim has argued with that. I said, this is an official document from the state of Tennessee. If they say I'm 6'3", I'm 6'3".
He's not 6'3".
So
I didn't think so, but
that's all right.
So another thing that may give it away, and I'm not trying to make light of this, but he did have two horses when he went to battle. Because one horse would get tired, and he never made it to the top of Kings Mountain.
Oh.
He couldn't physically make it in the horse, but he did.
Was it that he switched horses, or maybe he just used two horses? Like, you get
well,
two
no,
seats
he
on a plane.
tried to switch horses, and he just couldn't, and neither one of them. The horses said no way, and he couldn't walk.
Get off me.
He did very involved in doing that. So they led the victory there. So, but actually, we had, when you had the Patriots and the Tories, you actually had family members that were fighting against each other. Some of them had a strong heritage back to England, some did not. Neighbors, and all fought against each other. So this was a very important time, and like I say, it's the first Civil War of Tennessee, or our United States, actually. And so on April 19th, the city of Cleveland will reveal the first statue of Benjamin Cleveland here in the city of Cleveland.
Well, what is he not going to have a face? Because we don't know what he looks like.
Well, they've taken the descriptions of him, and it's an artist concept.
Right.
And it's going to be put at the First Street Park here in Cleveland.
Really?
April 19th at 10 o'clock. The Sons of the American Revolution, the Benjamin Cleveland chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution, which is the Cleveland chapter, and the largest Sons of American Revolution chapter in the state of Tennessee. I'm proud to be a member of that. I have 5 members of my family fought in the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So 5 different lines came down through there. So they're going to put that statue up. They've paid for it through donations and fundraisers and different things like that. A local artist actually made the statue from the information there. So that's going to be at 10 o'clock. There'll be a small ceremony there. Then after that ceremony, over at the museum at 5 Point, they have a Revolutionary War display there, which will have some artifacts, some weapons, and different things. And they'll have some of the family members of Benjamin Cleveland will actually be here. Now, ironically, there was some of Benjamin Cleveland's family actually moved into the Cleveland area after it was named Cleveland. They lived up in the north end of the county, uptown Walker Valley Road. There's a small graveyard up there. It had Spriggs in it, some Clevelands, and some Blythes. They were all the families that come in there to live. So actually, there is Cleveland families that lived here, but not Benjamin Cleveland himself. And I don't know if they came here because it was named after him or not, or what other reasons came through here. We don't know if ever that Benjamin Cleveland actually ever came through Cleveland. Some said he did, like I say, but you're talking about 1700s history. 1800s, and he's passed along a long way before Bradley County was here.
Sure.
And so 1838 was when we had Bradley County, city of Cleveland. The city actually, I think they got the name early, about the same time as the county, but they didn't actually become an official city, organized city until like 10 years later. If I'm not, I might be giving a take a year or two. Yeah. So, but that's.
So that will that display be there all weekend? You think the Revolutionary?
Oh yes, it'll probably be there a while.
So
yes.
that's on the 19th on a Friday, and so that's going to be the beginning when the unveiling of the statue, and then there'll be an exhibit that you would want to take a look at.
They'll have some music, and there's some, I understand, some food available down at the museum. That's what I found out about.
Maybe we can get Heartline to go sing Yankee Doodle Dandy like he used to do when he was younger.
If he still has that outfit.
I'm sure he does. It probably still fits. I bet it still fits. Hat and everything.
You know what? I bet you're right. It may be too big on him now. Oh, yeah.
Steve. We love you, Steve.
I actually remember that.
I do too.
I'm sitting here smiling, going because.
You remember he would, oh, my Yankee Doodle Dandy, and he sang real well. He was a very good singer back when he was like 4
Just
and 5.
as he still has the same voice. He has his very same
voice
that
he had when he was 5. He's got
years
today.
old.
It is.
Well, I hate to say this, his main goal in life was to be Tom Rowland.
Yeah.
But, and that's not a bad.
It's not a bad.
I mean, it wasn't for me.
Right.
It wasn't for me.
No, it's like, no. I mean, we love Tom, so
yes,
it's a good
I do
thing.
too.
And so, but, there cannot be another Tom Rowland.
Right.
There's only one Tom.
That's exactly
Kings
right.
Mountain Battle.
Right, we got
1,000 men on each side. The battle lasted 65 minutes, and it was the turning point in the war.
You're kidding.
Right.
65 minutes.
Yes.
It's just an hour and 5 minutes.
There was like no trees to hide
Well,
behind
I
it. It
think-
was just bam, you just keep falling down.
And ironically, I think there was 200-something of the Tories killed. There was 600-something of them captured, some missing. There's only 29 or 30 of the Patriots, and just a very few deaths and there. And so it was an overwhelming victory. And like I say, you can go visit the battleground now these days. You do there. But like I say, so we're finally. Someone asked me the other day, how come it took us so long to honor Benjamin Cleveland with a statue or something? That's why it wasn't done 100 years ago. Who knows why we didn't do it? But we're glad we're doing it now. It's a very nice bronze statue. The base is already placed down there at the first. That's the First Street Park is the newest park that we built in Cleveland down near the railroad tracks.
Right.
Okay. All right, so this is April 19th at
April
10 a.m.
19th,
All right,
10
the
a.m.
unveiling. You need to go out there and check that out. Support, the community support. Ron, thank you so much for being here, as you always do.
I enjoy it.
We always love talking to Ron. He's
That's
always,
right.
like I said, wealth of information
I
and
know.
good stuff.
And he tells us true stuff,
He does.
too.
He doesn't really make everything. Not everything.
Not everything.
But anyway, we'll have Ron again.
Go out to the First Street Park.
They
for
will be.
sure
They
on
will.
the-
That's for
on
sure.
Friday.
Absolutely.
He's not,
That's right.
Stop pulling your leg.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today for us on this Wednesday version of Tennessee Valley This Morning. We want to thank Tracy Shellhouse for being with us, and of course, Johnny McDaniel, Bradley County School Superintendent, and Ron Moore, as I said. And we thank you for joining us here this morning. Have yourself a wonderful day, beautiful day today. Tomorrow is going to be rain, but not today, so fear not. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Don't trust him.
Trust me.
Find out.
Anyway,
Go to where somebody that
we will see
knows.
you next Wednesday on Tennessee Valley This Morning. Have yourself a good one, and thanks for watching.